Hello, avid readers, book nerds, and casual observers. Welcome to the read along brought to you by the Lit Round Table. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Anna, and this is our read along of Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson.
Welcome, everyone, to Tress of the Emerald Sea, Part 3.
Part 3 and Section 3. Wait.
Yeah.
No, they're both called Part 3. They're both Part 3. Part 3 and Part 3.
It is week 3, and we read Part 3, because that's just the way this has been working.
Yes. A couple disclaimers here at the top of the pod. We're recording this while I'm still on call, so if there's a weird cut, that's probably what happened. Also, I'm getting over a cold, so if there's a weird cut, that may also be what happened.
Yeah.
Sorry to be the problem child.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
You know, it's normally not the older sibling that's the problem child.
It's true, but
here we are.
Should we go through chapter titles for this week?
Yes, what were those chapter titles?
Chapter 13 is The Cabin Boy. Should we identify who these people are as we go? The cabin boy is Hoid.
Yeah.
What a continuously odd little man.
And it's just so funny, the explanation of what happened. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to...
Yeah, we'll get to it.
It's so silly.
Chapter 14 is The Dougs, which is about someone named Doug. Which was funny because we also have an Uncle Doug, so like the whole discourse on societies that eventually fall prey to the Dougs was very humorous to me.
Then you hit peak Doug.
Yeah. 15 is the quartermaster, who's a lovely fella. This was cool. A lovely fella with a communication aid.
Yes.
So some cool representation, even in a fantasy realm, which
indeed
I appreciate. 16 is the corpse. Not the corpse you think it is.
It's the Sprouter.
17 is the carpenter. I don't remember much about this chapter.
The carpenter. The carpenter. Do you remember her name?
No.
Crud. Well, the carpenter is also, she like carries 3 pistols around, and she was talking to Fort, the quartermaster, about the cannonballs.
Right.
And she talks to Tress about like Sprouter stuff.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. 18
if I had my book, I forgot my book out in the living room. If I had it, I would find her name. I'm sorry.
I
don't have it.
18 is the other corpse. Who is the
doctor,
which is very amusing.
The zombie doctor
that wants to take pieces of Tress
and eats corpses.
19 is the cannon master.
Don't
remember much about that person either. This is like, how did you describe? Okay, here's the other thing, guys. I am sick, which means that my reading comprehension skills are like a few notches lower than normal. So
yeah, sorry
about that. 20, the helmswoman, liked her a lot.
She was cool.
She's very cool.
She was cool.
And 21 is the pirate. Should we reveal who the pirate is this early?
Oh, the pirate is actually Tress.
Look at our girl.
Yay. Fun.
Yeah. So this is like
so
meet the cast.
Meet part. The crew of the pirate ship. I love a pirate ship.
Yeah. How long do we think Tress is actually going to be on this pirate ship?
I don't know. I mean, she has to sail to the midnight sea. So maybe this is how she does it. Maybe Tress is going to become the captain.
That'd be great, because the captain is awful.
Yeah.
So we spent this whole part learning about these crew members, and then like towards the end, Tress was this close to getting off the boat. And I was like, man, we've invested a lot of time in learning about these people just for her to leave them. Which is ultimately how Tress also felt.
Yeah.
And so she's decided to stay.
Because she loves the family, the crew family.
The found family part of it, yeah.
Which I totally understand.
Yeah.
I liked, so starting towards the beginning, I loved like starting with the cabin boy. We don't have to go through like chapter by chapter, but I really want to
Right.
talk about
We do need to
Hoid.
talk about Hoid as a character in this section for sure.
Oh my goodness. He's lost his marbles.
Yeah.
Uh, he's lost all of his senses, which are his sense of taste, his sense of decency. Like he
Right.
listed,
Not taste buds.
right,
Yeah.
the other kind of taste.
Which is so funny because later on he tells Tress something about how she needs something bright orange to go with her red inspector's jacket, and she's like, "Wouldn't that clash?" And he was like, "Well, that's all there is in fashion." And it's like, "Oh, Hoid, oh, Hoid."
Man, so the sorceress cursed him to lose all of his senses. And so he's just bumbling around talking about shoving shoelaces up his nose and sucking on his toes because they taste like fate. And
Yeah, yeah,
he's insane. And I love the interaction between, well, not interaction. I love the interaction between Hoid as the narrator with the reader,
yes,
because he's like, I know this is embarrassing, I don't want to talk about it. And then he like keeps telling the story. But when we get to the part about the ship's doctor, Ulam, he's talking about how I've known him for a long time, and when he found out about my condition, he didn't try to help me. No, he became the ship's doctor and stayed and stuck around and chronicled my embarrassments and spread it around to a lot of our close friends. And I don't appreciate that.
right. So Hoid is buddies with this zombie doctor.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can like Tress of the Emerald Sea anymore because there's a surprise zombie in it that I wasn't expecting. And you do
So,
know how I feel about surprise zombies.
would it make you feel better if I told you it's not really a zombie? Because I have read, like,
You've been keeping a secret from me. You've been trying to get me to read Brando Sando, and this whole time there's been zombies the whole time? The whole
no,
time.
it's not. It's not. But it's not. They call him a zombie, but he's not really a zombie just because he eats corpses. It's more ghoulish if you think about it. No, there's actually a race of beings in uh, Mistborn that I
Okay.
believe this person is a member of. They're more because he talks about how he can like change shape, and he's like, I've turned into a two-headed snake before. Like,
Yeah.
so it's this race of beings that can turn into they can like shapeshift and turn into other things, but they
Do
do eat
they.
corpses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they turn into what they eat?
I think that's it's been a while since I read Mistborn. I think that's how they can turn into the thing is after they eat it, they can turn into
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, but that was a very funny interaction. So yeah, that thing is definitely like an alien. It does
Yeah.
not belong on this planet.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty funny when so later on, after Tress has had her initial introduction to the doctor, she gets kicked in the stomach, and then the helmswoman's like, maybe we should go to the doctor again. And she's like, I don't want to go to him. He wants to eat parts of me.
Hmm.
And the helmswoman's like, he's really not that bad. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Man, the whole I love the doctor in Hoid. But again, I also love Fort, the quartermaster,
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
his representation of deaf people.
Yeah.
There's some interesting commentary on lip reading where Hoyd was like, a lot of people think this is just a magical ability that all deaf people possess, where they know what you're saying so long as they can see your lips moving, and
Mm-hmm.
it's more complicated than that, and it's actually really hard to do, and there's a lot of guesswork. So this is still much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very cool.
So this tablet that the quartermaster is using is from a different planet.
Yeah.
Have you in your reading of Brando Sando come across this planet yet?
I don't know what that is. No.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's interesting.
It is. I was just curious if. Every
Yeah.
time there's like an Easter egg about a different planet, I'm like, oh, I wonder if Joseph knows that reference to that.
Yeah, it was called a Nathian board by
Mm-hmm.
Hoid, which I don't know what planet or culture that is,
Okay.
but somehow he got an alien iPad and he
Right.
uses it to translate.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very cool.
It is very cool.
It's giving. I said this before we started recording, but this whole thing is very like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to me, with all like
Yeah.
the Hoid narrating and like the other like jokes about being a planet hopper and like knowing all these things. It's just so interesting. It's very
Mm-hmm.
bizarre. It's very
Mm-hmm.
unique to all the other books that I've read by
Okay.
Brandon Sanderson.
Okay. Okay. I
I
dig
like
it.
it.
I dig it.
I really like Ford a lot. He gives her food. That's really nasty food, but it's still food.
But it does get better. He saved her a piece of cake the last time she was down there.
The name of the ship's carpenter is Anne,
Okay.
which is so easy to remember, but I still forgot. I
So did I.
looked up a list of the
Oh,
named characters so that I
gotcha.
would remember
Gotcha. I was like,
the
how did you
names.
suddenly remember that?
Um,
You cheated.
this Anne, the ship's carpenter, she loves guns but has horrendous aim to the point of comedy. So I can't wait for that to come up
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
The helmsman was Saleh, and
Okay.
that was I
Yes.
loved letting Tress steer the ship, and she like took pity on Tress after she got kicked by the by the captain.
Yeah.
And then there's Ulam is the name of the doctor,
Right.
and there's Hoid, the cabin boy, of course. And Captain Crow is the name of the captain.
Yes.
And the ship is the Crow's Song, which is fitting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even if the captain were to change, they would still have to call themselves Captain Crow. It's like a title because your ship is
Yeah.
called the Crow's Song. Anyway, so there's like this conspiracy that is being slowly revealed to us by Huck and Tress.
Yeah.
Tress's inquisitiveness and the things that she's overhearing and seeing on the ship. There's some,
And Hugs too.
yeah, there.
Because there was that whole bit where he came back and he was trying to tell her this interaction he had overheard, and he wanted her to play one of the characters, which of course she wasn't there, so she couldn't accurately play her role. And he was like, next time memorize your lines. I'm just going to play both of them for now, but next time you should really memorize your lines. I'm like, oh my gosh, Huck,
Man,
you're hysterical.
that part, it kind of reminded me of like Alice in Wonderland. Like,
Yes.
there's this whimsical creature that is just like you are operating on two completely different planes of reality. Like,
Right.
but he just doesn't get it and is totally normal. And he's like, you play. It's like you play this person and I'll play the captain. And she's like, I wasn't there. Oh, you'll do fine. Just go with it.
Right.
It's just so goofy.
And was critiquing her portrayal of this man.
yeah.
And he's like, no, do this. You need to elongate your neck like him. That's great.
Oh, the cannon master, who's also the first mate. That's who.
Yes. Yes.
Man. But so yeah, there's this conspiracy where we learn a little bit about like pirate life and how there's like the looters and then there's the dead runners, and the looters are the ones that are just like taking your stuff, letting you live. They're chill.
Right. They're
They're
kind
like
of a
Robin
known
Hoods.
thing. Yeah.
I loved. I
Doesn't
forget.
seem to be quite as many consequences for the looters.
Right. They'll get like locked up, but they're not going to get hanged if they get caught. I think it was Anne that was talking about this to Tress. Because the whole Dead Runner thing, they didn't want to sink the ship that Tress was on, but it just kind of happened on accident. And now they're like, well, I guess we're Dead Runners now. We killed everyone on that crew except for one person. But that person actually also died.
Well,
We find out
right.
later.
So that's part of the conspiracy. Like the crew has basically accepted, like, oh man, that was an accident, but I guess that's our fate now.
Hmm.
But then Tress is like, but if it was an accident, why didn't? Anyway, so basically, the conspiracy that Tress believes is that the captain did this on purpose.
Right. There are cannonballs that are designed to sink ships, like hidden in the cargo, in the barrels, and she sees the cannon master swap cannonballs. So like the cannon master's in on it. So there's some people on the ship that want them to be dead runners, and some people who just wanted to be looters, and now they've been like sucked in. Although they wanted someone to escape and like tell everyone about what happened, but now there's no witnesses, so they don't actually know about the
Right.
Crow's song destroying that ship. So
Right.
now the captain's like, well, nuts. I have to go sink another ship now and
Until
leave.
Tress is like, well, I'm from that ship.
Yeah.
And
I
then she
survived.
lies and is like, all my family was on that ship.
You're an inspector. Why was your family on the ship?
I wasn't really an inspector.
Yeah.
That whole bit, I was like, oh, what a tangled web we weave. But so she lies about her family being on the ship, and that she just got the coat at a bar, and it made her family laugh, so she kept it. And then when she decides that she wants to stay on the ship, the captain's like, what about your family that I killed? And she was like, I lied. I didn't actually have any family on the ship. I was a stowaway. I wasn't supposed to be there at all. And the captain's like, what? Okay. No more lying.
Yeah.
Honestly, as awful as the captain is, she's been very gracious about the amount of lies that Tress keeps telling her.
Yeah, like I'm surprised you just throw her into the sea, just
Right.
like get out of here.
Except the Tress makes a very compelling point that they don't have a sprouter anymore. And the Dugs are too afraid to collect the sprouts for the Zephyr
Yes.
bags.
Yes. So she's going to become the spore person, the sprouter, because
Yeah.
she was loading the Zephyr bags before, which is funny because she almost blew her face off
Yeah. Right.
with the Zephyr spores, which was interesting to see just a couple of spores on her face.
Yeah, because that chapter
Wow.
ended with, and then Tress exploded, and I was like, what?
And then the next chapter was called The Corpse. So it was
Yeah.
very like Brandon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the spores are crazy, and that's basically their gunpowder. That's how they launch the cannons, and that's probably how their guns work. I'm assuming these explodey spores.
Yeah. Which are apparently not as dangerous as most spores.
Yeah,
Which is crazy because they seem pretty stinking dangerous.
but relatively tame compared to others. Apparently, I'm so curious about what the other ones do.
There was also the commentary about how Tress is finding the sea, even though it's very dangerous, to be beautiful. And like that you would think that the danger would negate the beauty of it, but in fact that is not necessarily the case. It almost makes it more beautiful. And as both of us are not huge fans of like the idea of going into the ocean,
Yeah,
I think both of us can look at the ocean from land and appreciate that it is in
Yes.
fact very beautiful,
it is very beautiful.
but
It is.
also scary.
I went nowhere near it, but it's very pretty.
Yeah.
Like space. Space is beautiful. The stars
so
are
true.
beautiful.
I have zero
wouldn't-
desire.
I don't want to get launched into space
No.
and like be in a suit up in space,
No.
but it's pretty from down here.
Yes. Yes. 100%. 100%.
We forgot to talk about the Dugs.
Oh, right. The Dugs.
So basically, Hoid has decided that there's only a few people on the ship that are worth naming, and he can't remember, well, remembering their names, he can't remember the names of everyone else, so he just calls them all Doug. So
Yeah.
it's the carpenter told one of the Dougs to do this, or the Dougs were doing this, and it's just the crew is basically what it what it means. It's just this silly way for
But
Hoid to say the crew.
Tress also refers to them as the Dougs now. Like when she was talking to the captain, she was like, the Dougs don't want anything to do with it.
Right. I think.
And the captain just accepted it.
Well, it's because Hoid is telling the story, so
Is it?
he's having the characters refer to the Dougs as the Dougs, even though that's
Okay.
probably not what they actually said in real
Okay.
life.
Okay. That makes more sense.
But yeah, the whole Doug commentary about every civilization I've ever been to, there's always a Doug. I was once on a planet of these flat pancake-like beings who communicated through flatulence, and I kid you not, one of them was named Doug.
Yeah. Yeah.
So silly. So
Pretty
silly.
great. Pretty
But-
great.
My favorite part of the whole section, though, was probably Huck and Tress with the whole, like, scene thing where
Yeah.
Huck was trying to, like, get her to act in the scene. That's
Yeah.
probably my favorite part. That's so funny.
Yeah, all the stuff with Huck is always pretty good. Also, there's the part where he was also talking about dancing with somebody. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, wait, who's talking right now? Because I thought maybe this is Hoid. I got confused.
Yeah.
But no, he was dancing with someone on their shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cute. And he wanted to talk to them, but then he decided he probably better not because that would be too strange.
They'd freak out.
Yeah.
We got some explanation as to why Huck likes Tress. It's because she's the only person who hasn't tried to, like, capture him or kill him
Yeah.
when she sees him. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'd want to hang around with that person too.
For sure. For sure.
His little sidekick, little buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's very handy. He's very good at getting information. And he also steals little bits of food for Tress. Even though he's like, it's only a rat-sized portion, but
Yeah.
it's what I could manage. You just
I
made a
don't think-
face.
I don't think that this might not be the case, but I just had a thought of, like, what if Huck is another one of the things that the Doctor is, and he's not actually a rat, and that's why he
Oh.
can speak.
Well, that makes more sense than it being Charlie.
It does make more sense than it actually being Charlie, unless the sorceress can curse someone and turn them into a rat.
Right. Which was my theory in the last episode.
But if Huck is also one of the shape-shifting creatures from the Mistborn world, that would also explain why he can speak English.
Yes.
Crazy. Well,
We'll see if we find out.
yeah. We will see.
It does sound like he's been on other planets.
Huck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dancing thing made me think, oh, he's been somewhere else.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there's some kind of twist coming with Huck. It's just a matter
for
of
sure.
what.
100%. I would be shocked and sad if there was not a twist
Yeah.
coming with Huck.
He's just a talking rat.
Yeah.
No explanation. But yeah, I'm super into this. I love how whimsical it is and how silly it is, and the stakes are. I love pirates, and I love a good story with a pirate ship,
Yeah.
and that's what it's turned into unexpectedly once again.
Right. Like the stakes are high, but they're not that high. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
love it. So for
I don't know that this would qualify as a cozy fantasy, but it's certainly cozy fantasy adjacent so far.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the next part, it's all of part 4.
All of part 4. It's a little beefy, but
Okay.
I believe in us.
Yes, it'll be good. It's an easy read because of how short the chapters are, and I mean
Yeah.
the Sanderson stuff is very accessible.
Very digestible.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see how pirate life treats her, and I want a training montage of her becoming a
Yes.
sprouter. I want her to be like experimenting with all the. Man, I want to learn about what all the other spores do. I hope we get. I hope
Yes.
there's like a sprouter's guide that we get to like read through with Tress in the next section.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Amazing.
I guess until next time, happy reading.
And we'll talk at you next time.
Later.
Bye.